Guys, but I'm praying. I'm just saying, Lord, I am muting here now. Stop here now. Sometimes, guys, am I alone here? Thank you. Information overload. Man cannot deal with too much information. Give it to me. But ladies, they know how to give information to their children. They give their children food, and they know it's enough. But the husband, you're just coming and you're coming. And when it comes to that too, this is very important. When there is a problem, when there's a problem, you see, this is the other thing. You see, I'm walking, I'm coming up and down. Well, ladies, you see, she's just there. I'm walking up and down, walking up and down. When there is an issue that needs to be discussed, when you have brought it up once or twice as a lady, I have understood it, though I might not have understood it. It becomes a problem when you're talking to a man. You ask him the same question, you ask it from here. And you get an answer you don't like, you ask it from there. You get another answer, you ask it from there. That's when the blood pressure begins to go up. So as men, we ask you, ladies, when you have a question, when you have made a point as a lady, there is a point where you stop, you say, it's okay. Even if you know that I am a slow learner. But if hearing the same thing over and over, it translates. I didn't say it. It just translates as nagging. Okay. We as men, we communicate in headlines. Yeah, that's what we do. How was church? Fantastic. The ladies will say, oh, the couples fellowship. Oh, Dr. Levan was wearing this nice, and she had this flower. I didn't even see the flower. She had this flower, and she was talking and everything. She was, and Elder Sam was interjecting. The ladies will remember that. The ladies will remember that. Men don't remember. It was fantastic. The best ever. Women are detailed and vague in their speaking. Yes, you know that women are. Women expect their husbands to become mind readers and prophets. Yeah, she has a problem and she doesn't tell you. If I have a problem, baby, it's like this. A woman will not tell you. She expects you to figure it out. Okay. Men communicate to share information. Period. Women communicate to establish relationships. Men, this is where an area of problems here. Men rarely talk about their problems or troubles. If I have a man, you see, they rarely talk about it. They rarely even seek a solution. That's men. On the other hand, women like to talk about their problems without necessarily seeking a solution. She can come to you and say, this is where most of us guys get into problems. I remember early in our marriage, I'm a pastor. I pray for people to get healed. Early in our marriage, she would just, I have a problem here. I have a problem. Baby, I want to pray for you. That was a problem. I wanted to solve the problem by healing it. She just wanted me to say, baby, I'm so sorry. Where is it hurting? We as men, we communicate to get a solution. Many times a woman just wants empathy to be listened to. Mm, yeah, right. Mm. I think this point has been fully explained in the last few years that men have periods when they move into a mental blank spot. It just comes without warning. I just walk. I just want to be quiet. I just put everything in the back burner. Just enjoy peace and tranquility. You asking me, what are you thinking? Nothing. Yeah. And women have a problem because they don't think whatever they are worrying about this, they're worrying about this, worrying about. I am not. It's perfect. I am perfect when I'm quiet. Leave me to be quiet. Guys, are you with me, guys? Just allow me to be quiet. Even when I have a problem, even when you actually know that I have a problem, allow me. I solve it better when I'm not talking. When I just leave it, it's there, and I'm quiet. Don't try. Hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you? You are disrupting me. Women are rarely at a loss for words or thoughts. They're rarely at a loss for words or thoughts. They have listen, this is an important one, ladies. Men don't want to be told what to do, but they prefer a request. Pick up the trash. Why don't you bring those dishes? No. Men don't like me to pick up the trash. Bring those dishes. You didn't pay the bills. No. We prefer a request. Sweetheart, we haven't paid the bills. You haven't paid the bill. There's a difference. Okay. This one is an important one. Listen to this one. Women rarely say what they really mean. Women, they talk around a subject and expect men to decipher what they're saying. For example, when a woman says, fine. They use, when a woman, when you're talking, she says, fine. She's using it to end the conversation. But don't think it's finished. You don't think it's fine. There is a war that is brewing. Fine. If she says nothing, expect an explosion. A woman can just say to you, go ahead. If you hear, go ahead. She's saying, I dare you do it. I dare you. All right. You know you're in trouble. And when she goes, women can just have a loud sigh. She doesn't say anything. You know there is trouble that is brewing. Okay. All right. Okay. So what are we saying? We are just saying let's learn to accept that we have differences in the way we communicate. Women must understand that we have to understand. We as men, listen to me, guys, don't misunderstand me. We have to work at trying to talk to our ladies. Make it a point when you're coming from work or you're coming home to engage her, talk, give her some 30 minutes of talking. Although 30 minutes is not enough, you can give her a day. If you can give her a day and 30 minutes, that's all. Just give you. Now we go to we will go to the issue of finances, but this is very important. I think it is very important, especially here where we are. Uh, we have different, people work, and people have shifts. Someone is at home. The time when someone gets home, the other one is going to work, and before you know it, you hardly have time together. I, I was in Canada and I was telling people that, my wife and I, we work together. We spend almost all of our time together if we are not traveling. When we wake up in the morning, we take a shower sometimes together, and then we get in the car going to work together. We visit believers together. We go to the office together. We work together. But sometimes I hear we're not spending enough time together. uh, and I'm saying we spend all the time together. She is thinking maybe we need, for women, there is that thing about us. Men, we are not talking about us. We are not talking about our vision for our life. Where are we going? Women, where we are going? We are together. Woman, I think now, where are we going? I don't see where we are going. You you can just come up with something and say we are going to build a big house. I think that will help because you don't understand. Anyway, quiet. We want our kids to go to Harvard.
All right. Okay. Just to add on to that, it is important that we connect as husband and wife. Um, the things that got us together are those things that we should visit every now and again. Um, spending time together, not talking about work, not talking about other people, but talking about you guys, talking about your family, talking about your children. Yes, about sending them to Harvard and building the house. That helps you to connect, and it's also good to have fun together. I know we have a very busy life. There's 50 other things demanding your time. Um, but we have to find ways of enjoying each other. Find ways where, even if it's 5, 10 minutes, where we just laugh together. Remember how you guys used to laugh when you first got together? Yeah, the jokes you used to crack and your wife would practically roll over, and now you have her. You couldn't be bothered. Bring up those things, they say that women are looking for men who will lead, and when we look at what happened and how you eventually got us to come and join you, in most cases, is you would be the one calling, you'd be the one telling me we're going to go on a date, you'd be the one saying, okay, we need to plan for this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and now we're together. It's like, oh well, I'm just gonna sit and watch. So sometimes we just need to be together so we can connect, we can play, we can have fun together, right? Some of us have more fun with other people than we have with our spouses. We know how other people laugh more than we know how our spouses laugh. Hmm. So it's important. That's something that we really need to take care of. And as we communicate, we all need to learn to speak good words to each other and not hard words, not words that will break someone. Not we should speak words that build. All right. And even if you're not feeling like building, then just begin to prophesy that you are building. Um, and so looking into our finances. Everybody needs money to make life happen. Am I right? But what we need to understand is, as we're making this money, we're supposed to be able to enjoy the money at some point. I heard our father, the apostle and servant of God, was teaching one place, and he said, "We are spending so much time making the money, but we never get to enjoy it." So we have to be able to balance it up, that we make the money and get to go on vacation. We make some money, we get to enjoy ourselves. Even if we're not going far, just doing something as a family in order for you to enjoy the money that you are making. I know, most of us are thinking, well, I have to. When we talk about children, we're telling them, I'm busy, I'm going to work, I'm trying to do this just to keep a roof over your head so you can go to a good school, so you can have a good life. But all that is wonderful. However, we still need to be able to be together as families, and as we bring in our finances, the monies come together. And now, when we got married, they told us we'd become one. Am I right? Did they say those? The two have become one. What God has joined together. Did we ever hear those words? All right. The one also includes our finances. No one says this is my money. It's our money. Our money. We put it together and we plan for it. And once we say it's our money, please don't be go. We put the money together, and then you can get your own money from the money we get together. Everyone gets their own pocket money in a sense. You get to spend what you'd spend with that. But no one should really be hiding money from the other one. I know we're into savings, we're into all sorts of things. But look, if you're saving 100,000 and you don't want to tell me you have 100,000, just tell me we're saving 5,000. All right? Because you're afraid if you tell me I have 100,000, I'm going to tell you all the wonderful things we could do with that 100,000. So at least let's have an understanding that we are doing something together. All right. And once we have brought in the money, someone has to be faithful enough to make sure we are paying our tithe, because if one is paying and the other is not paying, we bring coming together. It's going to mess it up. All right. So we bring it together. We pay our tithes, and then we need someone. This is what our father says: check in your family who has the blessed hands, because not all of us can keep money, right? I know we had different shoes going up there when they said, who handles finances better. So you sit and you check, when so and so is running the checkbook, how are we doing? When so and so is running the checkbook, how are we doing? When you realize that someone seems to be doing better than you, it's okay to give it up and say, look, you run with it, we work together, we discuss, we do whatever, but you're in charge. All right, just so that we can make sure we have the blessing um, on our lives. And we should not use money to control anyone. We should not have anyone begging for money. We are one flesh, right? So we should be able to share that. Even when we're talking about planning for our children and all that, that comes into being able to run our finances well. And then when talking about children, we should not be controlling our children with money. There's one spouse feels like they can do certain things, so they use their money to attract the kids to them more than the other. That's not good. That's not good. And it's important that you guys agree. I'm going to just touch on to parenting right now as I go. You guys agree on how you're going to raise your children.
Remember, when it comes to finances, don't deprive each other of finances, in the sense that a man wants to have some money in his pocket, and a woman also wants to have some money. So you may be running on a tight budget, but make sure you have a little bit that someone can use on their own. When we come together as men and we want to have a barbecue, I want to be able to buy some lamo chicana and ensure that I'm, uh, that is very important. And also, we run into problems where one spouse just buys whatever they think, regardless of what has been agreed. They go to DSW and they see some shoes and they buy these shoes. Then they go to JC Penny, they see another one, they buy shoes that are not. I will commend this lady. If she goes anywhere she goes, She said, I'm at dealers. I've seen shoes for $10. I said, baby, buy them. I said, can I buy them? I think it's a good thing to always consult, get some permission, but make sure the husband, man, I like to have some money in my pocket. I just like to have I feel good when I have money in my pocket. Yeah, I just feel good. Even when we have some money for the house, I just like, I'm not going to use it. I just want to have it in my pocket. I just feel good. Yeah. So don't deprive. There are some of us, we didn't grow up with money. So when I have a little bit of money in my pocket, I'm just feeling good. So don't think there is a problem unless I use it. Am I talking to somebody? Do I make sense to somebody? Yeah. Don't deprive. And that little, that woman there, make sure she has money for makeup. Mary Kay. What is the other one, baby? Huh? Mike, I thought this is Mike. Okay. All we are saying, our overseers are coming. Dr. Kathy in the house, looking elegant as always. So, all I am saying is, whatever we do, make sure your spouse, even if you have a tight budget, make sure they have some money. Because where they go, where they go, these girls maybe, or she is with other ladies, and they talk. Oh, I have money. My husband give me money. I have money, and she has nothing, absolutely nothing. There comes our overseer. Give a big hand. So, women want to be given money by their husbands. A, 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 good, a good husband, from time to time, you ask your wife, do you have money? And you give her some money. Uh, and a good wife must be responsible in the way they use money. Or if you keep the credit card or the debit card for the family, be responsible. A story is told of a certain man who lost his credit card, and he was frantically looking for it, trying to find it. And after a month, he went to check how it was used. He saw that it was stolen, but somebody had used it. $100. He said, it's fine. It's fine. Let's keep it there. Lost as it is. Because it's not the usual 900 that's going. It's $50. So you want to make sure you are a responsible individual when it comes to the use of money. Each one of us, we need money. A good husband, you also make sure your in-laws, women like a husband who does something for the in-laws. You send money to the father, to the mother. Oh, she's a very happy woman. Vice versa. In our culture, it is generally accepted that the wife's relatives, they have advantages. Generally, people say I am as full as a wife's relative. When she comes, she can go to the bedroom. She goes everywhere. The husband, when he comes, he stays at the corner, at the veranda. Make sure the in-laws are taken care of. Clap your hands if we make sense. Good sense.
All right, still on finances, just found something here. that as we do business, a business that causes friction in marriage is not good. So we have to have an understanding. We need to make the money. Yes, we are in agreement. We need to make the money, but we need to be able to balance it out while we're making the money, still keeping um, either spouse happy. And if for this one is for the men, like you said, women want to be given money to spend, and it's also important that we buy things for our wives. It's we know you've given us the money to go and spend, but we like to receive something that you went and picked out for us. It's always a wonderful thing.
Once in a while, it's good to go to Victoria's Secrets and pick out some nice, is it lingerie, whatever.
All right, so go ahead and. No, they didn't clap hands for that. They don't like it. All right. All right. Just real quick, touching on parenting. Like I said, we need to be able to. We agree on what we're going to do with our children. We should not let our children divide us. When children need to go somewhere, we have to have agreed as to whether we're saying yes or no. And children know how to play us, by the way. So, as a good husband and wife, you tell each other, if one kid comes to ask you something and you don't know about it or you're not sure, then you simply say, "What did your mom say?" That way, you can tell if they're playing you or they just figured you're the one who's available. Because there are some children who will go to the parent that's easy to be able to get away with anything. And then when they're gone, you're the ones fighting as to how did this happen? How come you let them go? So it's always important that we let the kids know that we are in agreement as to what we're doing. Teaching our children good morals, part of it is by what we do to them, how we speak to them, how we relate as husband and wife. They watch and they determine whether how this is how people communicate in the real world. We have to find ways of engaging our kids. We are very busy, but we still need to find time to talk to our children, find out what's going on with them. There's a lot that happens while they're out there at school, whether it's elementary, high school, college, wherever it is. We still need to be able to talk to them so that we see where we can help them, where we can pray for them, and how we can direct them to other people that can help them. We need to understand the different culture that we live in. I think it was during Deeper Life when someone said we have American children and African parents, and I know some of us took offense, but really, bottom line, our children are they're growing up in a very different culture. So good parents have to study how to fit into this culture while we are still maintaining our good morals, teaching them the right things that we know are good, but not making them feel like strangers when they come home, because that is why they can't wait to leave the house and never come back, because the house is like a prison. All right. We want to teach them good morals. We want to teach them all about our culture. We want them to be good children, but we should not make them feel like they're aliens in their own home. So we have to figure out how we bridge that gap between their culture and what we were brought up in. Um, Men, if you have daughters, please reach out to your daughters. Take them out for ice cream, take them out for tea. Spend time with them because they need to hear that male voice and they need the affirmation from you. Because if the men don't give the affirmation to their children, they're going to find some man out there who's going to do it. And that's how we lose our daughters. And mothers, let's not smother our sons. We know we are attached to our sons, but we also need to let them become men. So allow the man to speak into your son's life, and let's not be defensive over it, because there are some things that they're teaching them so they can become real men. And understanding that all our children are different, so we don't bag them up and we say, how come you're not like your brother? They are all so different. And in those differences, just like we've been told about the difference between husband and wife, Our children are very different, and we just have to learn to enjoy those differences and work well with those differences. Speaking on blended families is families that come together. You bringing one spouse comes in with a family, another spouse comes in with a family. You come together, you become a blended family. Blended family is a wonderful thing, and what we just need to figure out is we as the parents need to bond first. That is how blended family is going to work well. The two of us need to bond. We become one. We agree, and that way, whatever anyone else says does not really matter. And as parents, we don't compete as to I want to show my kids the I want to show my spouse that I take care of my kids better than he does his kids. All right, so we have to not compete but work together so that our family can become one. And as the children are arguing, let's allow them to argue as long as no one is killing anyone. We allow them to argue as that's their way of working out their differences until they become one. If we're always going to be um, interjecting or trying to stop them from the argument, then they're never going to figure out how to speak to each other, how they can get along, and just understanding that we are coming from different places and we all have to compromise somewhere along the line so that we can become one family.
Wow, very important. Thank you. Clap your hands. Um, I can't think of any subject that is so important more than parenting. We need to make sure we raise our children right and to understand that they're growing in a different environment. If we fail to study the environment in which they live, which is very different from ours, even if you are a Westerner born here in the United States, the world of the parents and the children is totally different. What we want to make sure is to drill the Word of God into them. We drill the Word of God, and we seek to understand where they are and how to relate to them and in their environment, so we can really instruct them. A few things that probably we need to touch on. It says, chapter 5, verse 23, 24, 25 of Ephesians. Verse 22 says, submitting one to another in the fear of the Lord. It's talking to husband and wife. Submitting one to another. There is a submission, a mutual submission, a submission of husband to and wife to husband, husband to wife. There is a mutual submission that must take place in order for everything to work. Then it says, wives, it says, husbands, love your wives. It is the responsibility of every husband to love your wife, to cherish her, to say good things about her. Do not demean your wife or your husband, to love them. By the way, we have always heard that love your wife the way she interprets love. Don't love her the way you interpret love. That's where our problem is. You're saying, I'm loving you. I love you. Look, I've given you this. Look, my dad used to love my mother like this. No. Find out how she interprets love. And love her the way she interprets love. If she wants time, try and turn off the TV one day and just love her. Love her the way she interprets love. And then it says, wives, submit to your own husband. The culture in which we live does not esteem that value, where a wife, the biblical culture says the wife must submit. And I think it's good. This is why there were less divorces. in all the cultures, even the cultures where they still submit. But if we are all, we must all talk at, you know, a husband needs a wife. A husband needs a wife. A good husband will sit down and say, let's discuss. But, truth being spoken, women run the world. They run everything practically. From what is eaten in the house, this type of couch, the paint in the house, all the duvets, all the pillows, everything, the cereal, they run everything. The man is only left. The man is only left with a few things, where the wife must also learn to say, "Okay, I submit. Do I make sense to you?" Even this function that we have here, the women ran it. They are the ones who cooked this food. They are the ones who prepared. They are the ones who said we must give them fish. we must give them pies. They're the ones who picked up even this. So so submit. Do not be disrespectful to your husband. The Archbishop Dr. Godi has always said, when you speak down on your husband, you're destroying him. If you see a husband walking tall and he is chest out, he's so confident, it's because the wife is speaking good things. He's saying, that's the man. That's my husband. That's the man I fell in love with. No, not to say, is that a man? Man doesn't do like that. Don't talk down. Don't disrespect your husband. Don't wise, all the wise women, you don't disagree with your husband in public. I have come with my friends. We are seated. We are talking. Here is Pastor Dan, Pastor Paul, Pastor Zinas. We are talking, and I make an error. And you say, no, Pastor, no, you're wrong. You're wrong. No, you bring down your husband. Don't do that. Clap your hands. I know what I'm talking about. This is very important. Don't you? Because when you bring me down in front of my friends, you know what's happening? You're destroying the only thing. You know what is called a man? A man is that three-letter word, ego. Ego. That's what makes him to thrive. That's what gives him a spring. That's what. But when your husband recoils and he withdraws, it's you who loses more. And don't you be talking about your husband or your wife saying, "Oh, you are like your family. Your dad is like this. Your uncle is like this." No, leave my uncle out of this. It's me and you. So we're just saying, let the argument be between the two of us. And when we have argued and we have finished, we say, sorry. Please forgive me. You forgive each other. Don't allow to have an argument that goes beyond a day. Early in our marriage, we were told that if you have an argument, a disagreement, talk about it before you go to bed. And it's tough because if it's a deep argument, to get it out of the heart of a woman, it comes out little by little. It comes in bits and pieces. And you wait again, and a little. 3 a.m. It's finished. And then when it's finished, don't just go to bed. Intense fellowship must start. Oh yeah, there has to be that's the time to explore with what I have come to call the terminals. You know, a battery. You know, a battery. Eh, you know, a battery has two terminals. Yeah. Those terminals. i- You reach out to those terminals and you huh? Be intoxicated by those terminals. You by the way, if God happens to bless you with kids, they just enjoy those terminals for a little while. To those terminals were meant for you to be ravished. Okay, well, uh, this leads us to the subject of intimacy and romance. You need to be a romantic. Unfortunately or fortunately, the culture in which we live, it really esteems romance. Everybody romance. So to be romantic, um, women are crying out there. Our husbands are not romantic. Every husband should have a few lyrics. That from time to time you give here some sweet nothing. You give here some sweet nothings. Yeah, from time to time you have your song. You know, I gave you the other one. There is another one that I used to sing for my wife back then. It's not from now. Back then. You want to know it? Huh? It goes, hey, I love you so. I want you to know that I gonna miss your love the minute you walked out the door. Please don't go. Don't go. Don't go away. Please don't go. I'm begging you to stay. Huh? Has you a young couple in America. You calling your wife, hey mama, hey mama, hey baba. No, baby. I've been telling ma. No, baby. In fact, I've been telling people that my wife my wife has graduated from being baby to bay. Bay, yeah. Yeah. From time to time, you need to spice up your marriage. You spice it up. You create an environment that helps the chemistry, that helps the fire. Before we came, just as we were preparing to come here, I looked at my wife and said, baby, that's so, hey, look at it. I just bum a little bit. You do that in the kitchen when she's cooking. You just walk around the kitchen and you know she's doing her dishes and she's doing El Shaddai. You just go, You spice it up. Uh, by the words you address each other. My wife for the past 24 years that we have been married, she's just baby, 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 baby. Don't call your wife Matube. So, baby, from time to time, I as a man, you can buy me flowers and fill up this room. Doesn't mean nothing. I will not even have, to use the words of President Obama, I will not even have a smidgen of a tear over that. But these ladies, when you get them a flower, and even if you have not brought a flower, you just found it as you're getting home, you just break it. Baby, women have got what is called sentimental value. It's their sense of sentimental value is so high. This is why when you could have junk in your attic, in your garage, and you say, take it away. She's like, no. Sentimental value. Exploit that sentimental value. From time to time, just bring her some chocolate, baby, I love you. Say good things. Tell her that, baby, you cook. Your food is better. I say, my mother cooked better food than this. Okay. So what are we saying? We're saying romance. In this environment, from time to time, make time to take your wife to say, baby, you're not cooking today. Let's go to Olive Garden. Let's go to Ruth's Chris. Let's go to P.F. Chang. From time to time, you can say, okay, today I have no money. Let's just go to Burger King. Baby, I want to spoil you. From time to time, from time to time, just wake up and say, baby, today, just surprise you. Bring your breakfast in bed. I'm telling you, when you give your breakfast in bed, she will multiply and give you better breakfast in bed. So, don't work so hard that you don't enjoy the time. Have time to touch. We know that husbands, we are always armed to kill. But our friends are not that way. They climb the mountain slowly. Slowly. A good husband helps to climb the mountain. And he asks, as you climb the mountain, you ask, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Are you feeling fine? Am I making sense here? Yeah. And then you explore. Baba Gudi says your wife is your world. You explore your world. You explore your Amazon. You explore. Slowly, but surely. Wives must respond. I'm telling you, all husbands here, they long. We desire to hear from your wife to say, come, baby. Yeah. Yeah. The wife, all husbands are tired of initiating. Are we together, brothers? You want to see your wife saying, come. And if your husband, if you, sometimes, especially with the workload here, especially if you work with books and finances and figures, things that have to do with the mind, even computers, sometimes it turns you off. If you find it's turned off, find ways. Just put on your little one and you just walk around where he is. It's just the two of you, and you drop something, you pick it up right in front of him. You as a husband, if she is, you know, don't say, what is that? Don't cheat your. No, 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 no.
All right. Um, so really, bottom line is we came together to live together, but sex was probably the most important thing, and we should keep it where it was. Where we all coming from, either one of us, we had enough family, we had enough clothes, we had enough food. There was one thing that we didn't have, and that is what brought us together. So we do need to, on purpose, have sex enough to keep us all sane in our minds. Sometimes you need to check if your spouse keeps going off, check when was the last time. Because sometimes frustration has a way of venting itself in different ways. A hungry man is an angry man. All right. So we have to, stop and check. If you're noticing something's happening, stop and check. When was the last time? Maybe it's time to just jump in right now and deal with that. Um, and they say that the level of your sex life it speaks of the health of your relationship. All right. I know some have agreed that it's only once a month. If that's what you have agreed,
No. Unless you are 75 and above, anyone below that must be 2, 3 days, sometimes twice a day.
yeah, yeah. I what I'm simply saying is you guys have to. There are spontaneous times, but you find that if you probably sometimes some of you have to actually schedule it because of the ways the lifestyle is going. Everyone is so busy. Everyone is so tired. Sometimes you just have to say we're going to, not because we feel like it, but because we need it. All right, it's a need. It is a need. Either way, I know we've been brought up to think it's men who need it. No, but it's both of us who need it. And women, don't be afraid to initiate. Don't be afraid to tell them exactly where you want him to touch you, exactly how you want him to do it. And men, when you hear your wife say that, don't be asking, what have you been watching? She's just discovered herself.
Um, uh, there are a few books that are, but that can also help. There's a book that was written by a father called Shut Your Mouth. You need to have that one. Does your marriage look like this? It's a good book. There is that one. What was it? No. Strategies. Is it Tim LaHaye? That one. The Act of Marriage. Very good book. I think it was written by Tim LaHaye. It's a good. Instead of watching ungodly movies that will contaminate your mind, there's some Christian books that can teach you, and in a respectful, dignified, godly way to enjoy sex. It's established that Christian people enjoy sex better than unbelievers. It's established. It's a fact. Born again, spirit filled people, they enjoy sex. It's pure. It's clean. So, oh,
It's okay to speak in tongues right in the middle of the act. It's very spiritual.
yeah. So, listen. Listen, as we are now going to hand the time over to. But before we do that, we want to say it is important to have to be intimate, spend time together, block out the phones, uh, the TV, turn it off, WhatsApp, Facebook. The TV was a problem with men, and that one has been conquered. A new thing came. Wherever we go, we hear men say, WhatsApp in bed. Well, I just watched, I think I saw on CNN 2 days ago, they were saying social media is the new tobacco. Yeah, I saw it. It's the new tobacco. It's so addictive. It's more addictive than Starbucks. Yeah, it's really addictive. So no Facebook. It's quiet in here. The bedrooms have been taken. But you see what happens if your spouse is not satisfied? They will begin to entertain thoughts of saying, maybe there is someone. Don't feed it. Where I grew up, they used to say, when we had meetings like this, they would say, when you have your spouse, your husband, when you have sex, do it in such a way that he is finished. For the next week, he is finished. Finish her off. So you just give a start. No, this is where diet also comes into play. There are some. Yes. If you go to the Caribbean, you know what they eat. They eat for a reason. Plantains, watermelon. Yes, thank you. Yeah, there we go. I rest my case, Your Honor. No further questions. That white, it's called a rind. That rind, they actually call it the new Viagra. Oh yeah, it's called the new Viagra. Okay. So make sure don't watch too much movies. Too much movies. You may entertain an erection, but it's not a powerful one. As they say, powerful. It's not a power. If you want to have a powerful one, have a clear mind, a clean mind. So when you focus, you just aim. All right. Okay. Why are we saying this? We believe that healthy marriages make up healthy churches. A sex-starved man or sex-starved woman, when they come to church, even if they say, what do you call it? No, and I want an English one. They lift their hands like this. When they are fully satisfied, it's easy to connect in the spirit. Karama sambara. All right. Thank you. The issues of forgiveness. You want to touch on forgiveness for a minute or so before we end the time? Sorry, we've taken too long. Hopefully it's good.
Good stuff.
All right. So for us to be able to enjoy our sex lives, we heard about clean minds. Clean minds also include clean hearts. When we have unforgiveness, it's hard to enjoy your sex. It's hard to communicate properly. It's hard to enjoy marriage totally. So it is important that we work on forgiving each other. We may not struggle so much with forgiving everybody else out there at work, my friend over there, and so on, but it's my spouse that I am even having issues with. And partly I think it's because you're thinking, you know me better, I expect better from you. But everybody else, we just give them the benefit of the doubt. But what we should do is we have to work on being able to forgive each other. We have to be able to give each other space to make mistakes. I like what Colossians chapter 3, verse 12 to 14 says. I won't read the whole thing. Colossians chapter 3, verse 12 to 14. It's simply saying, give room, give allowance for someone to make mistakes. There was a very good illustration that Pastor Fiona one time she was talking about forgiveness, and she says when you look at your clothes, the way clothes are made, they have a seam, and in that seam there is a certain amount of fabric that should be left on the seam, and when they leave that fabric, I'll speak about my um, African outfits. When they make my African outfits, there's always got a huge seam, giving allowance for the time that I am going to put on weight. Then I can take out that seam. And if I have lost weight, then I will take in that seam. I am giving allowance for either way to happen, right? So we should do the same thing in our marriages. We should have a huge seam in our marriages so that when things go wrong, we have room to allow those things to go wrong and be able to get over them, be able to forgive. Well, that's why we have to sit down and then talk. If we can't agree on it, let's just agree to disagree, but let's part nicely. Let's forgive each other. And once we've forgiven each other, tomorrow when something else happens, we're not going to bring up what we already discussed and forgave each other about last night or 2 days ago. It is important that we forgive each other because when we don't, we will speak from hurt, we will speak from anger, and we will avoid being together. We will always have people around us because we feel more comfortable. Then you and I are not really going to have to confront any issues because we have so many people that we're entertaining. So it is important that we choose to forgive. And I am learning to forgive for selfish reasons so that I can be free, so that I can enjoy my life. Because if you notice, like I said, your spouse will look like they have it all together, and you're the one who's suffering because you have not forgiven. So it's important for our marriages to be sweet. We have to forgive. It's not easy, but it is something we have to continuously make a note of and do so that we can be happy.
Thank you very much for listening to us. Hopefully, we have spoken one or two good things to you. We encourage you, let's go and practice Christianity with our spouses, love each other. Okay, yes. We're going to have a question time, and I think our lovely Elder David, will lead us with the questions.
Come on, let's just give a head clap. Dr. Stephen Raven.
Do you want us to sit down or you want us to continue standing?
Whatever is comfortable for you. But it's question and answer time. So if you have a question, I will give you the mic.
Okay. This is to Pastor Lavin. You